Yes, it's that time of year, spooky season, and this year, for this special edition of YouTuber Booze, I'm going as the scariest thing of all. It's a gag that's been done before, but might as well do it now. Yes, welcome to YouTuber Booze. Booze, like a ghost says boo, but like the plural of that. It's not an alcohol thing. Not this time. Shane Dawson has revealed what his palette looks like. Jacqueline Hill has defended her cancelled Halloween costume. James Charles has revealed his hair loss. And of course it's the return of YouTuber Watch. Who will it be this week? All this plus spooky scary skeletons sending shivers down your spine on this week's edition of YouTuber News. Hosted by me, Benedict Townsend, and brought to you by PopBuzz. The only website that died in this very studio 10 years ago tonight! Man, I haven't celebrated All Hallows Eve in many a year. Not since the incident. But no point talking about that now. Our first story, Callooh Callay, oh frabjous day. It's here. Shane Dawson's palette is finally here. Spread the confetti and get the maypole. Because he's done a makeup. Here's what it looks like. Yes, this is our first official look at Shane Dawson's conspiracy palette and collection, and the eagle memoried of you will remember that we predicted that it'd be called Conspiracy right here on YouTuber Booze. So that's a little point for YouTuber News there, YouTuber Booze. And in the words of Jeffree Star, quote, "It's actually perfect," and I say that rarely, which is not true because he's been to the gym with me, just throwing out perfects every 5 seconds. Great lift, Ben. In fact, perfect lift. Good run, Ing. Perfect. Shane and Jeffree worked on this collaboration for almost a year and finally revealed their work in episode 6, we're up to episode 6, of Shane's YouTube documentary, which for those keeping count is hour 255 of his documentary. It was an intense episode, none of them could agree on the initial packaging designs. Oh man, people are dying, Kim. Shane and Jeffree sent everyone back to redesign things. They even brought in help from Andrew Sawicki, Shane's long-term cameraman and editor, but finally they agreed on a final design. This is it. And the entire collection will launch on Friday, November 1st, which is possibly today if you're watching this, or yesterday. But it doesn't matter because the real day is Halloween! So I've actually got a couple of pictures I want to show you, which I've got here on my slide projector. So first of all, we've got the palette, and then we've got the mini palette, there we go. And then we've got the shade combinations that you get in the main one, and the little one. And then also here's a picture of me at the Grand Canyon. Isn't that nice? And here's me and your Aunt Linda in Wisconsin. Oh, that one shouldn't be in there. And that's it. So let's put that away. Now, the liquid lipstick vault had already been revealed. That set will be packaged in a pink pig box that matches Shane's pig merch, which we spoke about in a previous episode. And that'll look just like Jeffree's lipsticks with a metallic black trim instead of pink. As well as makeups themselves, the collection also includes black and pink makeup bags and a brand new logo tracksuit and a pig side bag. So it is a full-blown collection of things that you can purchase with your money. Reminding us all of the spookiest thing of all, capitalism. Well, it's a Halloween episode because we're recording on Halloween. Well, by the time they see this, it will be November, but the Halloween spirit will still be in the air. Listen, I haven't celebrated a Halloween in many years, not since the incident. And I'm not letting you bring me down. Not as down as I want, of course, the day of the incident. The thing of which we never speak. Maybe later in the episode, but certainly not now. Our second story, Jacqueline Hill has defended going as a cancelled version of herself for Halloween. Now, Jacqueline, of course, is no stranger to controversy. Back in June of this year, 2019, she released some lipsticks, some of which turned out to be hairy, which is still the most disgusting thing we've covered on this show. And so she was briefly cancelled, but like all YouTube cancellations, it lasted for about 6 minutes and then she came back stronger than ever. Looking at you, Logan. And now she's stirring things up again by going as a cancelled version of herself for Halloween, which many people thought was a nod to her lipstick controversy. Jacqueline hosted a Halloween party at her mansion in Beverly Hills on the 26th of October, and it was packed with all your favourite YouTubers. James Charles was there, Nikita Dragon, Patrick Starr, and it was a huge affair. She had red roses, neon lights, and a burger and fries conveyor belt. Very Halloweeny. The scariest thing of all, unsaturated fats. But it was Jacqueline's costume that really got people talking. She came as a cancelled version of herself. She had a black mini dress and it had the words Jacqueline Hill is cancelled and she's cancelled plastered all over it in red glittery letters. And she also added some fake cuts and blood all over her body because, of course, you know this, the second you get cancelled on Twitter, it physically cuts you and hurts you. That is the power of the internet. But many fans did not see the funny side, thinking that the costume was a reference to her being cancelled and that it was her making light of the fact that she sold hairy lipsticks. But she addressed the backlash on Twitter and made it clear that the costume wasn't aimed at her customers, but rather at the general culture of cancellation. A cancel culture, if you will. She said, quote, "This costume has nothing to do with my fans or customers. It has to do with cancel culture that has become so popular. I adore my subscribers, and they know that." She also received some criticism that she had spelled the word cancelled wrong, but she stepped in to point out that cancelled with one L is the American and therefore incorrect way of spelling that word. I'm looking at it on the teleprompter and it just makes me sick. Where is that second L? Take the L and put it in that word. I think we might have to lose the costume, folks. It's just a little bit rattly on the old chest. I'll put it there for safekeeping. I've never seen a man liquefy before. Not until the incident. But we swore we'd never speak of the incident. Not unless it was All Hallows Eve and you were on a YouTube-based news show. Forsooths. Perhaps it is finally time to discuss the incident. And the most appropriate time would probably be, well, at the end of the show to increase watch retention. One of the most important stats in online video. We'll have to wait and see. Our third story, James Charles has opened up about how he's suffering from hair loss due to bleaching his hair in a new Instagram video. Yes, James took to Instagram and got candid about his hair loss that he says he's experiencing after bleaching his hair blonde. He said, quote, "I wanted to show you guys something that is pretty disgusting, but I feel like you should definitely see because I've been getting a lot of questions about it, and that is my hair. Obviously you guys know I've been wearing hats and stuff. It's because there's so much breakage and damage from the bleaching process. As you guys can see, I have very little hair left on the actual top of my head. This f***ing sucks. This sucks so much. It's so nasty." He then went on to say, "Whenever I dry my hair, this is what the towel looks like." And then he showed a towel just covered in hair that had fallen out. He ended the video advising, "If you ever think of bleaching your hair, don't." Then he went on to say, "Just to clarify, bleaching your hair can be safe as long as it's done correctly. @Guy Tang has both fixed and done my color safely multiple times, but I cheated on him with someone else because I had a shoot the next day. Now I have to deal with the consequences. It's no one's fault but my own. The lesson is be patient and safe." Then, later, James wrote, quote, "I'm tempted to just shave my head at this point. And also, quote, can someone Photoshop me with a buzz cut, please?" But when a fan showed him what that might look like, he replied, oh no. So it seems like this is a serious problem for James. If he's looking for some spare hair to put on his head, he could always go to one of those nice Jacqueline Hill lipsticks and just pick those out. Two birds with one stone that way. Oh no, now I have to go as cancelled for Halloween. With two L's. Because I'm not an animal. What a great story. Hi, I'm wearing a different jumper. Now, we also had a story this week about PewDiePie donating $69,420 to Mr. Beast's campaign to plant loads of trees. But we didn't have time to talk about it on this week's episode of YouTuber News, because otherwise these episodes would be 4 hours long. I know that's what you want, but we can't quite do that. So instead, we've talked about that story on our brand new YouTuber News podcast. That's right, folks, we got a podcast. It doesn't replace this show. We'll still have our weekly show every week on YouTube and Snapchat, but now we have the YouTuber News podcast, which is going out every week, every Tuesday, and that's on all your favorite podcast platforms. It'll be on Apple Podcasts, it's on Spotify, Global Player, whatever the Google podcast one is. Wherever you get podcasts, you can get the YouTuber News podcast. And the best part is, you can subscribe right now. The pages are all live. There's a little cheeky trailer up there, and you can subscribe right now so you can be the first to get the first episode when it drops on November 5th. I've already recorded some interviews with some crazy people that I should not have been able to get, but we somehow did it. So subscribe to the YouTuber News podcast right now on your favorite podcast home, podcast cottage. I don't know where podcasts live. And you can get the full YouTuber News experience with the show and the podcast. Anyway, on with the show, Ben. I'm wearing a different jumper. Now it's time for a spooky part of the show where I zero in on one spooky YouTuber and tell you what they spook. It's time for YouTuber Watch. Welcome to Dan How Watch. My name is Pumpkin. What's Dan been up to this week? Well, of course it is Is that funny? I don't know if that's funny. What's Dan been up to this week? Well, of course, it is All Hallows Eve, so Dan was getting ready to trick and or treat, dressed as his favourite fictional character, the goose from the untitled Goose Game. Honk honk, said Dan. I'm a goose. Now, Dan had slightly messed up his costume because Dan was not entirely sure what a goose was. So he's dressed as a shark and he was walking around the streets, honk honk, honk honk, and he would go up to people's houses, ding dong, make a ding dong noise, and then he'd walk up to the door and knock on it. And they'd open the door and they'd say, oh, look at you, young man, what a beautiful shark costume. What are you going as, Jaws? No, I am the goose from the Goose Game, honk honk. Okay, they would say, have some sweets, and they would just kind of pour sweets into the mouth hole of Dan's shark costume, and a lot of them would just bonk him on the face. He's like, I've got a bucket, why not just put them in the bucket. At the next house he got to, bing bong, he said, and then he walked up to the door. Oh, aren't you a cute little dolphin? I'm not a dolphin, I'm a goose, honk honk, give me a sweets. And he got to the next house, and who was there but his good friend, Phil Lester. You ready to trick and treat this house? You know it, mate. So Phil went up to the doorbell, ding dong, he said, and then he went up and knocked on the door, not getting tired of this joke, and the door opened very slowly. Hello, can I help you? Yes, trick or treat, it's kind of the whole deal of the night. Yes, trick or treat. I could not hear the festivities over the sound of my sharpening. Anyway, you're looking for a trick or treat, are you? Yes, that's basically how this works. Good Lord, this is going on for a long time. Well, I'm afraid I'm out of treats, but I might have a trick for you. And he whipped open the door, and he was there, and he was a criminal, and he did a card trick. And that was the trick. Pretty good, said Dan. And then they went home, and they all sat round and played the Goose Game. And Dan said, this goose looks all wrong. Where is his fins? Where is his sharp teeth? And Phil said, Merry Christmas, everyone. And that's Dan how it was. It's the thing we do every week, and it's always good. So. I'm Benedict Townsend, and this has been YouTuber Booze. I'll be back next week with a non-spooky episode with all the latest YouTube news stories and more. Don't forget to subscribe or follow, depending on what platform you're on. And if you're on a platform where you can hit like, why not hit like? It's free, go on, treat yourself. And now I suppose it is time for me to finally address the incident. The year was 2018. I was a young man then, full of dreams and hope, unbroken by the wheel of YouTube news. And I went along to my local supermarché to purchase several creams that I need for several rashes around my body. Not going to get into that now. I went up to the cashier and he said, customer, have you any coupes? And I said, yes sir, 3 bags full. And I pulled out my coupes and I presented them my Bradley Coopers. And he said, sir, I'm so sorry to tell you this, but these coupons are expired! Ah! It's pretty scary, wasn't it, Teresa? Yeah, she was there as well. Hey, why don't you say something to wrap up the show? Some pithy, witty statement. You said it. Happy Halloween, folks. See you next week.